everybody. So it is August, it's a new month. We're gonna get back to pose of the month. We kind of took a break for July, sort of inadvertently, it just kind of happened. But we're back in action, so we're gonna do a new pose for the month of August. Things are gonna run a little different now for pose of the month. So we used to once a week do a practice together. We're just gonna do one pre-recorded class that I'll send out to you guys, like I did today, with a newsletter at the start of the month, and it'll be on the YouTube channel, like it is, so you can watch it anytime. And then my goal is to be super diligent about going on every day and checking in a Facebook group and talking more on there about practicing every month. So let's get to it. So that's kind of the rundown of how things are going to go. So this will be our video for practicing every month, and then we will do a lot more interaction on the Facebook group to keep ourselves motivated during the month. So what are we doing this month? We're doing plank pose this month. So yoga is a lot about core strength, as you know, and a lot of our daily life is going to be impacted and benefited by working on this part of the body, right? And it's not just about that like six-pack area. When we talk about core strength in yoga, we're talking about really like the whole torso, right? The back, the upper back, the lower back, our side ab muscles, as well as like that six-pack that everybody's so that it's always worried about, right? So we're talking about a much bigger part of the body. So when we're working on our plank pose, we're really targeting all of those areas, as well as basically the whole body, right? It's kind of a pretty full body workout. We're getting the arms, we're getting a little bit of everything. So we're gonna go through a couple different variations of plank pose. I don't want you to be scared of this, right? So just like all of our other poses of the month, you guys set the tone for, where you're at, right? It's always so important. This is what we focus on, to meet yourself where you are when we're in our yoga practice. So maybe you're gonna set a challenge where you hold plank pose for 5 seconds longer than you can at the beginning. Maybe you time yourself right now, see how long you can hold it, and your goal is to be able to hold it for 5 seconds longer by the end of the month, or whatever it is. So depending on where you're at today, you'll see kind of where you want to take this throughout the course of the month. And like I said, we're going to talk about a few different options for your plank pose. So let's get to it. So this really won't be so much of a video that you need to come back and watch all the time, unless you want to see some of the different variations. I'll try to post maybe a couple different links in the group for some different like challenges that are already set up through the month, maybe a time one and like a variation one with some different poses or something, so we can kind of keep it fresh and do some different stuff throughout the course of the month. So since this is a little less of a pose where we need to really like warm up the body or something, this is one of those things where you can just kind of do your plank pose, do your challenge for the day, and get back to what you're doing. But since we are together and we are here, before we jump into it, we'll just take a minute, find a comfortable seat, and just take a moment. Maybe you don't always do this and center yourself for your practice, but if you want to make that plank pose a little bit more yoga focused and a little less just workout focused, you can always just take a few moments, sit, find your breath, find some stillness. Just let yourself kind of shake off the day, shake off everything else. Just bring it in. And then we'll take a slight little tuck in the chin, bringing the gaze towards the floor before floating open the eyes. It's always nice just to take a few moments, a few breaths, get yourself centered, and then we'll move into our practice. So let's just go over, like I said, a few different ideas for your plank pose, right? Maybe you're thinking, oh my God, I can't even hold plank for a second. We'll start with the knees. We can do a modified plank. Are you coming over here to do plank pose too? Right, so we can come to modified plank on the knees. So kind of like an extended tabletop. We want wrist in line underneath the shoulders. And so if I came up onto my toes, right, so the knees are kind of back there. So we can do a modified plank on the knees. Little support here, but we're still engaging all those core muscles. The back is active, right? I'm not kind of like sloped into my shoulders, no baby cobra. That back is nice and flat and engaged, pressing away from the mat with the hands, right? Hands are finger spread, same thing. So that's our first option, is taking that. I don't even like to say modified. I don't like to use words like that because it implies something is better or worse, right? And it's not. But if that's where you're at today, drop those knees, get your plank done for whatever your goal is. Try to aim for at least like, you know, a 5 to 10 second plank, and you do maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds, however many you want to do. But try to get a little bit of a hold going there. The next thing you can do, right, if we're feeling really good today, maybe we're going to be we're up on the knees. So we're going to be toes lifted, nice flat back. Like I said, we're not like, you know, saggy down here, strumping into those shoulders, right? Everything is active and engaged. We're pressing that mat away, engaging the core, lifting those hips, right? Kind of like, you know, when we're in bridge pose, we're activating all these muscles, right? Pressing that mat away. Here's your plank pose. So that's your kind of standard, no nonsense. Maybe that hurts the wrists, doesn't feel so great in this area of the body. Next option for you is to do plank on forearms. And you can do that either on the knees or not on the knees. So if the wrists are bothering you, maybe just one day, or usually you can always go and take that forearm plank. So it's gonna look the same way. Sorry, I'm kicking the dresser. Except we're down on those forearms. Still, we're not letting that butt sag just come up, shoulders sag. Everything is lifted, lifting the hips away, back nice and flat and engaged. Here's our plank pose. Looks the same, knees down, right? Still lifting through those hips, lifting the chest, shoulders back, heart kind of forward. There's our plank pose. So right there, 4 options of some different ways that we can play around with it. Now, maybe a month of that might get a little boring, right? So as always, we have lots of options in our yoga. You guys know we've played around with side plank in class. So you can take the modified version of side plank, right? The knee down. We want to get wrist in line underneath the shoulder. Bring the arm up. Arm can be on the hip. If you're playing with this modified version, you can lift the leg, and maybe get it up even with the hip. Should really be like, there we go, back here, right? Or you can go a little bit more of a full side plank. So that is another option. So if you feel pretty comfortable with that standard plank, maybe you want to work on challenging yourself a little bit more. You bring that side plank into it. One more variation that I'll give you, I don't want to overwhelm everybody, excuse me, is to work on your chaturanga a little bit and work on that push-up, right, that we do in our plank, that chaturanga is when we lower ourselves in our sun salutations, and we drop to that like halfway. So we're not totally on the ground yet. We're like almost there. It's very slow, controlled, lots of muscles, lots happening there. So you can use this month and this plank pose to kind of work on your chaturanga a little bit, which is part of where I'm going with this personally for myself, because I'm getting a little better finally, but not great. So My goal this month with plank is to really work on that knees, chest, chin, which I'm going to show you now, and getting that nice and slow and controlled, and working on that chaturanga so I can make my sun salutation just have a little bit of a nicer flow. Just my personal practice goals. Like I said, we're all gonna have a little bit of a different approach this month. So if you want to kind of work on something like that, also what I'm talking about is from that full plank pose where we're at. I'm talking about knees, chest, chin for right now. So this is not that full chaturanga. So just coming down on the knees and then nice and slow and controlled. We're keeping elbows glued to the rib cage, coming straight back, nice and slow. Chest comes down. And I just got a whole mouth of dog hair. Sorry, guys. And then the chin. That was super gross. Oh, the outtakes from this video. Anyway, so that is another option. That was super gross. That we can work on this month as part of our plank pose. Watch for dog hair. Anyway, you guys, that's August. That's our update. I will see you in the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group already for Pose of the Month, I'll put a link in the comments of this video. Also make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get the video every month. Sign up for the newsletter so you get all that good stuff. What other announcements do we have? I think that's it. So yeah, so I'll see you over in the Facebook group. I am going to check in every day with my plank pose to help motivate you guys and to motivate me. So come join me over on Facebook and let's get planking. All right, lovelies. I will see you out there. We've also got class on Mondays at 4, so you can join me live on Zoom or catch recordings whenever you have time. And enjoy your planking. Mwah. See everybody later.